Good evening, everyone. It is Thursday evening, about 6 o'clock, I think. I just wanted to send an update on where we are at this point in the semester. We have a quiz coming up this weekend. It will open tomorrow at noon and go until Sunday at midnight. It is a timed quiz. You have 30 minutes. I do that because it's part of preparing you for the licensure process. So there, the amount of time that I give you for the quiz is comparable to what you'll have for the licensure exam. For example, there are 170 questions on the licensure exam, and you get 240 minutes to take the test. I have been in contact with several of this year's graduates about their experience with the licensure exam, and they are averaging, most of the students, between 2 and 2.5 hours to take the exam, which translates into about 120 to 150 minutes to do 170 questions. So I'm giving you 30 minutes to do 16 questions. I think you'll find that that is plenty of time to do the quiz. Follow the guide that I provided in email the other night in terms of what to focus on to study. I do want to highlight that there are 3 questions included that come from the licensure prep materials. So they are not directly from your reading, but they pertain to topics that are covered in our readings. And all of them ask the question, what should the social worker do first? And that is a theme of many of the questions on the licensure exam. So it's going to be less about something specific from the readings and more of, given this circumstance, what should a generalist social work do first? So while there may be more than one quote unquote right answer of things that you should do, the question is asking you, what should you do first? And as I indicated in the email, you want to pay attention to things like gather more information, basic assessment, meeting basic needs, Maslow's hierarchy, and assessment of safety. If those are relevant to the case, that is likely going to be the answer that you would put for what the social worker does first. Okay? If you have any questions on that, please give me a call. I will be around all weekend. And as I said, the quiz will open tomorrow at noon and close Sunday night at midnight. I don't think I need to say this, but I will. This is, one of the things about doing an online class is that there's a certain degree of trust that has to happen for honesty and integrity, that you're not sitting there doing the quiz with the textbook open. So I hope that that won't be an issue with anyone in this course. You are all on your road to becoming, master's level practitioners, and integrity and honesty are certainly something we value very much in our profession. But again, if you have any questions about the quiz, certainly give me a call. So this week you are also finishing up a forum that is due on Sunday, June 5th, based on watching a video from Canopy on some topic related to sexuality. The next thing that is going to be due in the course following this weekend is number 8, letter E on the syllabus, and that is a research or policy assignment. And I will be posting sometime tomorrow the questions. But basically, this is getting you out into the current events again, because I very much believe in the importance of lifelong learning, and that your social work education doesn't end when you get your MSW. So you will be looking at either something that has been researched in the last 5 years, meaning that there was data collected, primary data collection, so that the research that you're going to write about, you're going to write about the actual data collection, or a policy that has been enacted in the last 5 years. So you're going to answer a series of questions, and I say on the syllabus, 1 page summary, but realistically, it's probably 1 to 2 pages based on the questions that I pose and whether you choose a research or a policy event, or recent, um, something recent to focus on. So um, that's the next assignment, and that is due on June 12th. Um, the week ending June 12th, which is we'll have a chat session starting on Monday the 6th and going up through the 12th. So I will schedule times, a dozen times again for you to do chat sessions with them, primarily concentrated in the end of the week, looking around, um, the latter part, recognizing that this weekend you're focusing on finishing up the current assignments. That will take us up to what is the next assignment, which is F, and that is due on the 19th, and that is an evidence-based practice brief, and that will coincide with the last discussion forum. So I will post some examples. Again, this is a 2-page document. I will do a brief video on websites to go to look up evidence-based practices, and you will pick one and write about it in a 2-page, front and back is the way it would be printed if you were going to be distributing this, in what I call a practice brief. Um, and my point in doing this is to help you be prepared to do presentations, whether it's within your own agency or at the county level or even beyond at the state or federal level. How do you take information about a program and put it into something that's, user friendly as a handout? And the other reason that I do this is to make sure that you are thoroughly familiar with the evidence based program databases, the national databases that exist in your area of interest. So I will highlight about a half a dozen that I would like you to visit and just, kind of check out, scope them out before you pick the one practice EBP that you want to focus on for your brief. Again, this will be something that when you're working on it, and you select your evidence practice uh, program that you want to write about, that you shoot me a text. And I do that just because I don't want, a dozen people doing the same evidence-based practice. So, there are some hot topics, and I want to make sure that we only have, a couple people doing the same programs. Okay? So I think that kind of sums it up for right now and where we are. The last assignment is the chat for the last week of the semester, and that's really just coming together and talking about the book that you've picked and finalizing your experience for the semester. And also that weekend, we will have our final quiz, which I envision will be very much like this quiz on several of the chapters from the book, and multiple choice questions similar to this, with a few licensure prep questions dispersed throughout. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I am doing some serious grading this weekend, going back, looking at your first discussion forum, your current events paper, then coming up on just your chat, and then this weekend with your grade for your quiz. I probably won't get through all the discussion forums. So my hope is to get you out a grade that's based on the first discussion forum, the chat, the quiz, and the current events paper. And so they will be coming out shortly. Okay? And let me know. Again, if you have any questions, I'm available all weekend. I am teaching Saturday during the day, the chemical dependency class, but otherwise we'll be around all weekend. All right. Have a great night.